Hi Scorpio, this is your reading for the week of March 16th or whenever you hear it. And it resonates, and of course it may never resonate. This may not be for you. So what I started seeing as I was preparing to work with your energy, and I was asking the guides what we were going to give you today, what I saw was quite interesting. It was a circle. And it was a circle that was like, and I heard like a closing of a loop. But what the interesting thing was, is that within the circle, there were all these gears. There was a mechanism that were gears. So if you think of like a gear train, a mechanical gear train where there are interlocking wheels that go like this. They're each turning within their own sphere, but as they pass each other, they're still connected by the teeth. And what I was seeing then was, I was going, okay, well, what are the gears for? And I'm still looking at this circle. And what it feels to me is that a cycle is just about completed. And when I say that, what I'm being drawn to is the gears within this cycle. Because what it's showing me is that these are like the kind of gears you might see on a safe. I feel like I'm hearing the click, 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 click of a safe. And what it feels, thank you, as you're actually closing the circle, finishing a cycle, but really closing a circle. And it's a big one. It's a big circle. What I'm seeing there is that these mechanisms now have the security and the safety and the protection within this closed circle of events. And not just events, but a closed circle that allowed for a closing of a karmic cycle that needed to complete. And it's almost done. And as it completes, what happens is literally it's like the mechanisms that have been within this cycle that maybe didn't have the ability to move quite so well. Now it sets everything loose. These are the gears. Now, why is this important that it's gears? It could be the gears for some of you. Thank you. For some of you, it's going to be the kind of gears that you would see in an old-fashioned safe. And that what they're showing me is that as the safe opens up, that's where you find your treasure. But of course, this is all within you. This is not happening outside of you. These are the treasures that you'll be finding in yourself now that you may have had hints of. So if for example, they were gems, which happens to be what they're showing me, again with you, the gems, is that whereas before you might have had a sense of what the color of the gems were, you might have had an idea of what the shapes were, but you didn't really know what their value was. You weren't sure of what their value was, and you weren't sure of what you would do with them. I'm seeing it now, literally. If it's jewelry, do I make it into a ring? Is it earrings? I don't know. But the thing is, my dears, you are going to know, because as this cycle completes, that's when the gears get moving. That's when the safe opens up. And that's when you really see what's there so that you're able to work with it. You're able to actually really own it. So this is like the vault, your inner vault that is getting to really be able to reveal these things that you're going to have to work with that you might not have actually imagined you'd be working with. Now, the cards that you're getting are interesting because it's telling you really deliberately engage the universe. Look for intuition. Expect to find it. Please acknowledge it, Scorpio, when you get your intuitive hits. Acknowledge when you are on track. And if you're not sure if you're right, clock it, mark it, pay attention to it, because part of what you're going to be doing is you're going to be learning how to be able to get underneath whatever old defense mechanisms are there, or old fears or protections are there, to be able to really read the intuition clearly and accurately in many, many different situations. And I would not be surprised, Scorpio, if many of you find yourself really evolving into, I don't want to say profound, because that's moving into the ability to work with your intuition and to really channel in ways that you may not have imagined being able to do. I feel for many of you, that's one of the gifts you're going to have. For some of you, I see it as real creativity coming out in something that is actually tangible in a way where you can say, I did that. Oh, would you like to buy it? Or maybe you just want to give it away. But there's that sense where you're actually going to see the things that you've held in your heart for a long time coming out. And this is true for everybody. What you've been holding in your heart for a long time, you're going to see it actually coming out and taking shape in a way perhaps you hadn't perceived or imagined was possible. You're being told, there may be doubt right now about what's going on, but don't worry. That circle is closing. And when that circle closes, when that cycle is complete, the gears, the mechanisms start. It's literally like they become oiled and lubricated, and now they work, and this opens up for you. You've done a lot of work, Scorpio. You've done a lot of work, and this is good. This is good. This is good progress. So don't worry about what you don't know yet. It's all part of the plan. Your job right now, Scorpio, because you've done so much work, is to really pay attention to where you might be stressed. You don't always notice it, Scorpio, because when you work, you get into that, I don't want to say driven, because that makes it sound like it's kind of like a pathology. You have the ability to work really hard and to be inspired to get it done quickly and accurately. And this is part of what makes you extremely productive when you put your mind to something. And it's so much a natural part of who you are that it's not like you have to force yourself to do it. You want to get it done. You've got the motivation there. You've got the energy to do it for the most part. When you get in that sometimes, however, you can forget to check in with yourself and see how you're actually doing. So this is one of the things that I feel like this is a part of what the cycle is completing, because they're showing me that gap again. And that happens when I'm looking at the cards here that say, drop the weight of stress. Look at what you are still doing in your life. And if you find yourself getting stressed, if you find yourself revving, getting stressed, getting that should mentality again, step back a little bit. Check in with your intuition, check in with your heart, and give yourself permission to say, you know what? I'm going to take this like I'm on vacation. And how would I look at this that needs to be done now if I were looking at this in a completely new light? If I were on vacation, if I were taking the opportunity to just look at my life from a different vantage point, how would that allow me to identify what the stressors are that I carry with me as a natural way of functioning that I haven't identified as stressors, and what can I do about that? Because that is one of the things that is going to allow this. It's going to help put you more in flow. It's going to allow that cycle to complete, and as that cycle completes, the gears start moving and the safe opens up. So, Scorpio, again, more gems for you. Your safe, your inner vault. Follow your intuition. And you know what? There's that feeling quality to this of you've done the work, and now it's time for you to lean into the idea of, I don't have to be certain in order to be safe. I don't have to be certain in order to enjoy myself, and I don't have to be certain in order to drop the stress that I sometimes accidentally carry with me. Okay? Scorpio, I think this is great. I feel like you have made huge moves recently, and that this is going to be paying off for you again in ways that you don't even realize. And I saw 3 weeks, and I don't usually give timelines, but when they just pop up like that, I'll throw them out there as a possibility. So what's the possibility for 3 weeks? That some of you in about a 3-week period are going to be noticing that something has shifted profoundly in your heart, that it's no longer work to stay aligned there, that whatever has been kind of wanting to pull you away from the way you would like to be in your evolved state of consciousness, your compassionate heart, whatever that was, it's literally like I see it going poof, like just a little bit of poof, a little bit of dust, a little bit of powder just going, poof, it's gone. Love it for you, Scorpio. You take good care of yourselves, okay? Much love.